Welcome to my presentation. I am Sarah Drake, a post-university graduate student. The topic I will discuss is media literacy and fake news. CRAP is an important acronym to help students remember the elements needed to evaluate sources. CRAP stands for currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. By utilizing this method, a student such as myself can use this framework as a strainer to filter out unnecessary or misleading information. The article which I chose to evaluate is Media Literacy, Democracy, and the Challenge of Fake News. It is published in the Journal of Media Literacy Education. Let's look at the objectives we will be covering today. The following objectives will be discussed in today's presentation. Currency, a source that provides up-to-date and relevant information. Relevance, source directly addresses your research question. Authority, evaluate who is responsible for the information. Accuracy, evaluate if the information is reliable. And purpose, identify the author's intent. Now that we have established our objectives, let's discuss the first element of the CRAP framework, currency. Currency answers the question, how current is this information? When a student evaluates a resource for currency, they should check several items, such as when was the information published or posted? This informs the student if the source is relevant and reliable. If you use outdated information, you could lose credibility. Has it been revised or outdated or updated since then? If it is an old source and has not been updated, it may be missing up-to-date information. Is the source current enough that it will meet your needs? Using current sources make your work stronger and more trustworthy. Now let's see if the article I analyzed passes for currency in the CRAP framework. My selected article, Media Literacy, Democracy, and the Challenge of Fake News, was published in 2018. This is circled in red on the slide. I could understand that a student may challenge the currency of this article because it was published 7 years ago. However, it meets the current requirements of the CRAP framework. Although more recent research exists, this article remains relevant due to the ongoing impact of fake news on democratic processes. Additionally, this source is easily accessible to anyone online. As an online source, all updates to the original source are also open access. Overall, the article does meet the standard for currency. The R in the CRAP framework refers to the importance of the information to your research needs. Students should ask the following questions. Is the information relevant to your search? You're not wasting your time with information that is not related to your topic. The source helps you build evidence and examples that support your assignment. To what extent does the research answer your question? This is important because it ensures you are selecting sources that don't just relate to your topic, but actually provide the information needed to support your specific research. Who is the intended audience? This helps you judge if the source you have selected is appropriate for your audience. For example, if the source is written for scholars, it will have more in-depth research than a source written for the general public. Is the information at an appropriate level for your needs? Too basic may not provide enough details. If it's too advanced, it may be difficult and overload you with information, while when it's at the right level, the sophistication of the research matches your research goals. Now that we have established what relevance is in the relation to the CRAP framework, let's analyze my selected article for its relevance. To check for relevancy of my selected article, I asked myself the same questions that we reviewed on the previous slide. Is the information relevant to your research? The title of my article is Media Literacy, Democracy, and the Challenge of Fake News. The topic for this assignment is media literacy and fake news. To what extent does the research answer your question? It explores the theory behind the topic, how fake news influences democratic processes, and why media literacy is crucial in education. Who is the intended audience? This article is written exclusively for scholars and educators. I can determine this by elements such as publication type. This is circled in red on the screen. The article is published in the Journal of Media Literacy Education. You can see this circled in red on the slide. This is a peer-reviewed academic journal. Peer-reviewed journals are specifically written for researchers, educators, and graduate students. Is the information at an appropriate level for your needs? The article is written at the right level, that the sophistication of the research which matches my research goals. For example, the authors of the article explain fake news not as a new development, but as a continuation of long-standing misinformation practices shaped by changes in media technology. Additionally, the authors highlight that media literacy education should go beyond verifying content to include critical perspectives on how media operate, the role of power, and the responsibility of media users and its citizens. To conclude, this article aligns well with the relevant standards in the CRAP framework. Authority. Authority refers to the source or author of the information. Authors should show that they are knowledgeable and truthful. To determine the author's authority or credibility, a student can answer the following questions. Is the author a person, company, or organization? This helps you evaluate the author's credibility. If it is an individual author, you can check their qualifications or background experience. If it is a company, you can check to see if they have a good reputation in their field. Is the author an expert on the topic? For example, you can find information about the author's experience, background, or education that could make them an expert in this field. Is contact information included? This could be the publisher. When contact information is available, this shows transparency and verifiability, as the author is open to you to contact them and verify any information. Does the URL reveal anything? This can give clues about the credibility and expertise of the site. For example, .com could mean the website is used for commercial use, while .gov means it is used for government purposes. Now that we understand which questions to ask when checking for authority, let's determine if my selected article satisfies the authority component of the CRAP framework. Is the author a person, company, or organization? The authors are all people and have a strong academic background. Lance E. Mason is affiliated with the Indiana University of Kokomo. He is located in the top right corner of your screen. His research focuses on media literacy, civic engagement, and the intersection of media and education. Daniel G. Kruka is a faculty member at the University of North Texas. He is located at the bottom right of your screen. His work explores the integration of digital technologies in education, media literacy, and civic education. Jeremy Stoddard is a professor at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He is located on the left of your screen. His research interests include media literacy, social studies education, and the role of media in shaping public understanding of democracy. Is the author an expert on the topic? All authors are experts on the topic of digital literacy and fake news. They are circled in red on the slide. Mason, he co-authored Media Literacy, Democracy, and the Challenge of Fake News. In this publication, the authors examine the history of fake news, how it interacts with media technology, and its effects on democratic societies. Kruka, he is author of the article, Digital Citizenship in the Curriculum, Educational Leadership. It examines why integrating digital citizenship is essential, focusing on helping students navigate the digital environment responsibly. Meanwhile, Stoddard, teaching beyond verifying sources in fake news. In this article, Stoddard critiques standard media literacy, focused on source checking, and promotes a critical media education that examines how marginalized communities are portrayed and challenges traditional concepts of objectivity and authority in journalism. Is contact information included? The publisher is listed on the cover page of the article, circled in red, Journal of Media Literacy Education. Does the URL reveal anything? It is a DOI, Direct Object Identifier. This means that the link will never change. In summary, my chosen article meets the requirements of the authority component of the CRAP framework. Accuracy, reliability, and truthfulness of the information. To determine accuracy, a student should ask the following questions. Does the information seem accurate? If it seems accurate, the information is likely more trustworthy. Is the information supported by evidence? Evidence such as citations or references allows you to confirm that the information you are using is credible. Can you verify the information in a different source? By cross-checking multiple sources confirms that the information is consistent and accurate. Has the information been peer-reviewed? Peer-reviewed work has been examined by experts in the field. This will catch unsupported claims, errors, or overall trustworthiness of the work. Does the language seem unbiased? Identifying unbiased wording helps in distinguishing between facts and authors' opinions. Are there spelling or other grammatical errors? Reliable resources are professionally edited, and errors can make the information harder to comprehend for research. Having reviewed how to evaluate accuracy in the CRAP framework, let's assess whether my article meets these criteria. Does the information seem accurate? The information presented is backed by evidence. For example, the article references media ecologists. They study how media forms and how it influences our personal actions. It also has references Herman and Chomsky's critical analysis of media. The occupation of a media ecologist and Herman and Chomsky's study is easily confirmed with information and statistics. Is the information supported by evidence? The article uses historical evidence that fake news is nothing new and that digital literacy has been continually developing. Here are a few direct quotations which support this. New mass media technologies have always presented novel opportunities for those in positions of power to influence citizens. Hitler used the intimate one-way communication of the radio to rally German citizens behind his nationalistic imperial agenda. Another example is, similarly, Franklin D. Roosevelt hosted radio-based fireside chats to convince depression-weary American citizens to support New Deal reforms. Can you verify the information in a different source? According to the Wiener Holocaust Library, Goebbels used a combination of modern media, such as films and radio, and traditional campaigning tools, such as posters and newspapers, to reach as many people as possible. It was through this technique that he began to build an image of Hitler as a strong, stable leader that Germany needed to become a great power again. According to the National Archives 2020, FDR's fireside chat was to gain the support of the American people for his programs. These programs became known as the New Deal, a reference taken from a campaign speech in which he promised a new deal for the American people. Has the information been peer-reviewed? The article was published in the Journal of Media Literacy Education, JMLE. According to the Broadcast Education Association, the Journal of Media Education is a peer-reviewed journal published 4 times a year. Does the language seem unbiased? The authors use unbiased phrases such as media literacy skills and fake news challenges. They avoid using emotionally intense words which could stir emotions that can charge opinions. Additionally, the text avoids exaggeration, presenting ideas in a straightforward and educational manner. Are there spelling or other grammatical errors? No spelling or grammatical errors are present. Now that we have established that the article meets the requirements for accuracy, let's review the final aspect of the CRAP framework, purpose. Purpose of the CRAP framework is the reason or motivation for the information. Knowing this helps determine if the information is biased or objective. To determine purpose, students should answer the following questions. Is the purpose to inform, teach, sell, entertain, persuade? This creates transparency. Understanding purpose helps you judge whether the source is objective or has a particular agenda. Do the authors make their intentions clear? Knowing the author's purpose ensures that you can decide if the source fits your academic needs. Additionally, an author who shares their goals appears to be trustworthy. Is the point of view objective or impartial? This helps the student judge if the source is appropriate for academic use. An objective source is more likely to present facts, while bias may be slanted as a personal agenda. Are there obvious biases? This can be in forms such as institutional or religion. Who is the intended audience? Knowing who the audience is helps you understand tone and style and purpose alignment. For example, is the source aimed at professionals and educators? Having explored the concept of purpose, let's evaluate whether my chosen source fulfills the purpose criteria of the CRAFT framework. Is the purpose to inform, teach, sell, entertain, persuade? In the beginning of the article, the authors state their purpose is to educate. Mason, Krugad, and Stoddard 2018 state that the essay offers a context for discussions about fake news, democracy, and considerations for media literacy education. Do the authors make their intentions clear? In Mason, Krugad, and Stoddard 2018, the abstract mentions providing a context for discussions about fake news, democracy, and considerations for media literacy education. This signals their intention to inform and educate. Is the point of view objective or impartial? The author's point of view is objective. The article presents media literacy and fake news utilizing scholarly research and historical examples. The authors prioritize the education of students over political or personal persuasion. Are there obvious biases? No obvious biases are present in the article. Who is the intended audience? The intended audience is educators, researchers, or education policymakers. This is evident from the use of academic language, emphasis on research, the publication venue, and references to classroom applications, all of which suggest the article is intended for scholars and professionals in media literacy education. Mason L.E., Krugad D.G., and Stoddard J. 2018, Media Literacy, Democracy, and the Challenging of Fake News satisfies all aspects of the CRAFT framework. Currency is demonstrated as the article tackles contemporary issues related to fake news and media literacy while providing historical background to enrich understanding. Relevance is clear because the content directly supports educators, researchers, and policymakers seeking to understand and teach media literacy, making it applicable for both academic and professional purposes. Authority is confirmed by all authors being experienced scholars in media literacy, and the article is published in a peer-reviewed publication. Accuracy is satisfied by all data presented being from credible sources, and all information is presented objectively and impartially. The purpose of the article is met by informing and educating information for media literacy discussions rather than pushing an agenda. Overall, the article meets all criteria of the CRAFT framework, making it a reliable and authoritative resource for understanding media literacy and addressing the challenges of fake news. The following references were used in today's presentation. The following references were used in today's presentation. This concludes today's presentation. Thank you for your time.